Hello everyone and welcome to Intellipaat. In today's session, we will be discussing about what is computer vision, what are its applications and what are its current uses. So let's take a look at our agenda for today. Firstly, we will discuss about what is computer vision. After that, we will take a look on its operations. Moving further, we will talk about all the applications of computer vision. Moving ahead, we will take a look at the importance of machine learning in computer vision. Then, we will discuss about all the computer vision tools. After that, we will discuss about what is Opencv and its advantages. And at last, we will be doing a hands-on on two projects based on Opencv library of computer vision. So without any further wait, let's start today's session. So what is computer vision? Let's say you want to search in a location in your phone. And when you open Maps, an option appears saying 3D map. You open it and find it to be astounding as the way of all the details it shows, the clarity. One more scenario could be seen with the idea of implementation of self-driving cars. All these mentioned technologies fall under the concept of computer vision. So computer vision is a subset of artificial intelligence through which other machines or devices are able to extract relevant information by taking all the data from surroundings in the form of images or videos, and in order to take actions based on that data. It basically manages how computers can acquire high-level intelligence from digitally acquired pictures or recordings. Now let us understand how computer vision operates, or what are its operations. So, computer vision basically operates in three steps. The first one being receiving an image, in which images are obtained in real time through pictures or video format. They are then processed to the next step, which is image processing. In this step, the acquired image is processed by deep learning models in order to extract the relevant information from them. And at last comes the stage of image understanding. After the image is processed, the information gets extracted from them, and in this step, the object of which the image was taken gets identified or classified. Now let's discuss about all the present applications of computer vision. So the first application being facial recognition. It helps in the identification and recognition of humans by taking the image of a human's face. Then comes the image segmentation. In image segmentation, the image gets allotted into numerous pieces in order to be analyzed independently. After that comes the object detection. It helps in the identification of the objects present in the image. Then follows pattern detection. Pattern detection helps in recognizing all the patterns, that is, shapes, colors and other details that are being repeated in an image. And at last comes the image classification. It is a process of grouping images based on the classifications or categories. In short, it categorizes an image based on its features. So machine learning plays a very significant role in computer vision. Let's take a look at its importance. Machine learning gave an alternative way with tackling computer vision issues. Through machine learning, there is no need to write each and every step of code into the vision application. Rather, the developers modify features and smaller applications that could recognize explicit patterns in pictures. Machine learning tackled numerous issues that were generally challenging for traditional programming improvement devices and approaches. For example, a long time back, machine learning engineers had the option to make a product that could help in the prediction of breast cancer endurance windows better than the human specialist. The majority of the computer vision applications like disease discovery, self-driving vehicles, and facial recognition utilize deep learning. Both deep learning and deep neural networks have moved from the reasonable domain into useful applications on account of accessibility and advances in equipment and distributed computing assets. Now let's take a look at all the computer vision tools available for the implementation of computer vision. So to use computer vision for our own purpose, one needs to apply the proper software or tools for its successful implementation. Some of them include Opencv, TensorFlow, CUDA, VisualSuite, MATLAB, Keras, SimpleCV, BoostCV, and some more. So we are going to discuss about the most preferable computer vision tools in terms of uses and its functions, the Opencv. So open source computer vision, prominently known as Opencv, is a software of machine learning library which functions to convey a typical framework for computer vision applications and to animate the use of machine insight in the products of day-to-day or commercial use. It is basically designed for the main focus of it being the implementation of real-time applications, thus providing the developing assistance to students, teachers, researchers in the implementation of all the projects related to computer vision. One of the main aspects of this library is that it is so much proficient in its availability of robust machine learning infrastructure, which was beforehand accessible in just a few research labs. Now let's take a look at all the advantages of Opencv. So the main advantages of Opencv, which makes it so much preferable, are the first one being that it provides a multi-language support, thereby being available for a wide number of programming languages such as Android, Java, Python, C++, and some more. This library has an excess of 2500 upgraded algorithms and incorporates a complete arrangement of both exemplary as well as cutting-edge computer vision and machine learning algorithms. Then comes the advantage of it being that it can be used for a variety of projects like face detection and recognition, object classification and identification, as well as production of 3D point clouds. And at last, it has a wide number of users in many countries, including Japan, China, Russia, Europe, etc., and is being used by many well-known research centers as well as tech giants like MIT, Cambridge, Google, Microsoft, Yahoo, Intel, and some more. So the significance of computer vision is the issues that it can tackle and has become one of the main technologies empowering the computerized world to get connected with the actual world. It has become one of the most moderate and quickly developing fields. As indicated by Grand View Research, the worldwide computer vision market size was esteemed at $11.3 billion in 2020 and is supposed to extend at an accumulated yearly growth rate of 7.3% from 2021 to 28. Now let's get started with the hands-on session for today, in which I will be showing you two projects by implementing them with the help of Opencv library in computer vision. So without any further wait, let's start our first project for today, which will be merging of two images into one using the Opencv library. So I'll be using PyCharm IDE for the implementation of today's project. So we need Python. We are implementing this project on Python, and Opencv is best used on Python, or we can say in Python we can easily use Opencv, so that we'll be using PyCharm IDE, and at first we have to install the Opencv, which is the library of computer vision. So how to install Opencv? You have to open your terminal and type in pip install, then Opencv and Python, and it will be installed. As you can see, I have already installed Opencv. That's why it is stating that requirement is already satisfied. Now let's start with our today's project. Before starting, you have to copy the images that you want to merge. Both the images you have to copy, and then you have to paste by this. First you copy the images and then click on this main file. As my main file is Python project 2, so right click on this one and then select paste, and that image will be pasted in your main file, in your main Python file, so that you can use it for your project purposes easily. So I have already pasted some of the images, from which two images I will be using for this project. So the first step being, you have to import the installed Opencv library by import cv2. And then you have to also install using the terminal numpy. And for installing numpy, the procedure is same, pip install numpy, and it will be installed. So now we have to import the installed numpy. Now we have to create a variable or declare a variable for storing both the images. So for the first image, I am declaring a variable known as pic1, and inside that I will store my first image. So for storing the images in computer vision or in cv2, there is a function called imread. Inside that you have to pass the location of that image. So this is the name of my image, and I have used the imread function of cv2 or Opencv. So this function basically, it helps in reading the image that is provided in that function. So I have stored the first image which I'll be using for today, and after that I want this image to be shown in my system or in my computer. So for that, I'll be using another function in Opencv library which is used for showing or displaying the image, which is called imShow. Now I will pass the value that it will be showing, which is pic1. Now I have stored one image, and then I have passed a function to show that or to display that image. But we have to do one more thing. We have to provide a delay time, as in the time for which the image will be displayed, and after that time the image will be gone and the window will be destroyed, or in terms it will be closed. So for that, the function which we require is cv2 dot wait key. So this wait key is nothing but the key or the delay time that user can input in. So the time that the user wants to display to get the picture displayed will be this key. So inside that I'll be passing 3000, as in I want my picture to be displayed for 3 seconds. Therefore I am passing 3000. Now let's store our second pic by the same method, cv.imread or imread, and inside that I have passed the value. Now I also want this pic to be displayed, so cv2.imShow, and first I have to pass the string containing that picture's name or whatever the name I want to be displayed along with that picture, and then the value of the picture or the variable in which the picture was stored. And after that, at first I'll show you that how you can display pictures, and after that I'll be showing you the process of merging two images. So let's first provide it a delay time or interval time intervals for which the image will be displayed. So again, cv.wait key, and the delay again I want it to be 3000. And for destroying all the windows so that your system doesn't store any image after it has been closed. For that purpose, we use cv.destroy all windows. So let's save it and let's run our code. And here you will be seeing the first image, and after that you will be seeing the second image, and after 3 seconds both the images are gone. So that's the process of reading an image and after that displaying an image for a certain interval of time using Opencv. Now let's continue with our project for today of merging two images. So the main difficulty that we face in merging two images or doing any applications with more than one image is that both the images that most of the time both the images that we use are of different shapes and sizes, and for that purpose there is a function called resize in Opencv so that the images that you want to work with can be resized into the similar frame or into the same frame, so as it becomes much easier to work with the images without any difficulty or without any errors. So let's resize the first image. So I will declare a variable called resize1, and I will call a function of resizing, that is cv2.resize, and inside that I will pass the value of the image that I want to resize, and at last I'll pass the parameters of resizing it. And same we will do with the second image as well. So again, resize 2 is equal to cv2.resize and the source folder, which is pic2, and the frame parameters or requirements. So both my images will be resized in the same frame, will be resized in the same parameters, or will be in the same frame, so that it will be easier to work with them. Now after this, we have to declare a variable which will store both the images after they have been merged. So for that, I'll be declaring a variable named as final image, and in it I'll be passing a function which is called cv2.addWeighted. So it adds two images, or it adds more than one images and merges them. So this function serves this purpose, and inside it I will pass the values or the source of both the images that I want to merge with. So resize 1 and 0.5, this is nothing but you can say the lighting effect of the image. So I want it to be 0.5. You can choose any parameter that you prefer, and then the source of the second image, which is resize 2, and then again the parameter 0.8, and at last 0, as I want my image to be shown in the original format or original color only. So the 0 argument serves for that purpose. If you want your image to be grayscale, to be shown in grayscale, then you have to change it from 0 to 1. And after that, we have to pass a function again for showing the final image. So cv2.imShow final image, and pass it the source, which is final image. Then I have to provide it the delay or the duration for which I want it to be displayed on my screen. So cv2.wait key again, and now this time I want my final image to be displayed for 5 seconds, so 5000. So let's save it and then run it. As you'll be seeing, there's the first image and then comes the second image, and after both of them appears the third image, which is the merge, which appears after merging of both these images. And after 5 seconds, all of them is gone. So let's run again and see. This is the first image, this is the second image, and this is the addition of both the images. So this was the first project. Now let's move on to our second project for today, which is face recognition using Opencv library in Python as well.
If you want to make a career in data science, then Intellipaat has IIT Madras Advanced Data Science and AI Certification Program. This course is of very high quality and cost effective, as it is taught by IIT professors and industry experts.
So coming to the second topic for our project today, which is face recognition using Opencv. So what happens in face recognition? That is, the computer or the system recognizes the person using all the structures or all the encodings of his face. So let's get started. At first, we have to insert the library of Opencv or to import the library of Opencv. So as I mentioned earlier, to install the Opencv library, you just have to write pip install Opencv and Python. By doing this, the Opencv library will be installed in a system. So after that, we will be needing the face recognition also. So face recognition is a file that comes in Opencv also, but we have to install that file. So for that, we have to write pip install face recognition and it will be installed. As you can see, I have already installed all the required libraries, so it's stating that requirement already satisfied. So after that, what we have to do is we have to copy and paste all the images that we want our system to recognize the faces from. So I have pasted 3 images, the first one being mine, the second one MS Dhoni, and the third one Ratan Tata. So I will be showing you a demo that how to copy and paste these images in your project. So go to the location where you have downloaded the image or taken that image. So here is the APJ Abdul Kalam's pic. So I will copy it and then I will right click on this Python project 3, which is my project's name, and I will paste that image here. And now I will change the image's name to the name I want it to be provided with. And here you can see the image has been pasted in my project only. So now let's start with this project. At first we have to import all the libraries that we have installed. So we'll be importing CV2, which is the Opencv library. After that, we'll be importing NumPy, and I'll be giving it a name NP. And at last, we have to import the face recognition, and I'll be also providing it the name FR. So all the libraries we have imported. Now what we have to do is we have to provide a function, or we have to call a function so that it can open my webcam and load the image through it. So for that, I will be declaring a variable named videocam. You can rename it as you want. I have named it videocam, and I will assign it the function to open my webcam, which is cv2.videoCapture, and I will give it the value 0 as I want my image to be the image that will be loaded through my webcam to be as it is, and no filters like grayscale or anything to be added to it. So I have given it the value 0, and after that I will load the image. So I will declare a variable for loading all the images that are pasted in my project file. So the first image, I am giving it the name of img1 or image1, and then I will call the face recognition to load that image, and I will provide the image's name. So msdhoni.jpg. Now comes the second one, so I will load the second image. Now again I will call the face recognition to load that image, and now I will provide that image's name that it will be loading. So as you can see, whenever I write my image's name, it auto appears because it is already pasted in my project file. As you can see, I have passed the function for loading all the images that are in my project file. So after that, what I'll be doing is I'll be assigning a variable and passing it a function to encode all my images, which means to calculate all the structures like what is the position of my nose from my eyes, and to calculate all like that sort of things, I'll be passing a function that is for face recognition dot face encodings. And inside that I will pass the value of my image, and again I want my image to be as it is, so 0. So face encodings, as I have already mentioned, that it calculates all the structures of the face of the image that it is provided with. So all the structures like how far is the nose from the eyes, or all that sort of calculations is done by the encoding. Now encoding 2 for another image, and same as I had done earlier. Now this is for image 2. Now as you can see, I have provided all my images to be encoded by that face encoding function of face recognition. So this project does not only recognizes just one image, but it recognizes as many images as you want, but the condition that you have to paste all that images into your project file. So the plus point of this project is that it can recognize more than one image at a time, provided all the details that you have provided that it requires. So after calling the encoding function, now we have to compare all the encoded values whether match with the stored images or not. So for that, at first I will be assigning a variable known as known encoding. This known encoding variable will be containing all the encoded values of only the images that are saved in my project file, so that it can match or compare with all the images that it will be getting through my webcam. So for that, I have assigned a variable known as known encoding 1, and it will store all the values of encoding 1. Same as the first one, now known encoding 2, and it will be storing all the values of my encoding 1. Sorry, it will be storing all the values of my encoding 2. and same as for encoding 3 and 4 as well. So known encoding 3, which will store the values of encoding 3, and now with the last one encoding 4. So it is done. Now what we have to do is we have to provide the names that we want to get displayed after recognizing the image that it will be getting through my webcam. So how we will do that is we will assign another variable stored name. Again, all the variables that I am declaring, you can name whatever you want or whatever you may prefer. So I am naming this variable stored names 1 to store the names of all the images that I have stored in my project file. So the names, and these names will be appearing whenever the system will recognize the image. So for the first one, you can see the first image that I have provided my system to load is of MS Dhoni. So I will assign this stored names 1 variable the name of MS Dhoni. And remember, you have to be careful and assign the values to all the stored names variables serial wise as you have provided or as you have assigned the values to your image variables. Otherwise, the names will be jumbled out. It may be that you will be getting the names wrongly of the image that it will be recognizing. So remember to name it serial wise as you have loaded the images. So for the stored names 1, we will pass it the value of the name, value containing the name of that image, which is Dhoni. And for the second one, I will provide that image the name that I want to appear it, and same goes for the remaining ones also, which are stored names 3 and 4. So stored names 3, the image was of APJ Abdul Kalam. So I will be giving it the name APJ Abdul Kalam. And for the last one, same as the previous ones, the image is of Ratan Tata. So I will give it the name Ratan Tata. So as far we have encoded the images, we have stored that encoded values, we have provided the names that will be appearing after the system recognizes the image. And now what is left is we have to process the webcam for further recognition process. So for doing that, we have to pass a loop. So while true, as in whenever my webcam opens, now we will provide the things that or the functions that it will be doing. So we need to provide it a frame so that it can capture the face or it can capture the values of the face. So for that, I will assign the value to the frame, which is video cam dot read, and this function will open my webcam and read the image inside it or the image appearing in it. Now after that, so we have assigned a frame that will display the webcam image. Now all the images by default in Opencv or in computer vision, so all the images by default in Opencv are in the format of BGR, which is blue, green and red. So they are in the order of this color, which is blue, green and red. And now we have to convert this order into the normal order or into the regular order that all the images are in, which is RGB format or RGB order, which is red, green and blue. So for this, we will convert it into RGB format. So for that, we will convert our frame into RGB order frame. So how we will do that is by passing it the function frame and all the parameters. So this will convert the frame which was in BGR order or BGR format into RGB order. So after that, we have to provide the location of the image or of the face that will be appearing in the web. Now what we will be doing is that we will be providing this frame a location. So I'll be assigning a variable named face locations and passing it the function which is face recognition dot face locations, so that my frame would be saved or would be located in that location. So inside this function, I will be passing the frame, which is now converted into RGB format. So RGB frame. And now I have to store the encoded values. So for that, I have to store the known encoded values or the encodings of the face that will be appearing in the webcam. So previously, I stored all the encoded values of the images that were stored in my project file. Now I have to store the encoded values of the image that will be appearing in the real time. So for that, I'll pass a variable face encodings, and inside that I will call a function which is face recognition dot face encodings, and inside that function I will pass the value of my frame, which is RGB frame, and also the location of that frame, which is face locations. So now we need to pass a loop for checking whether the input image or the image that is inputted through webcam, all the structures or all the encoded values are matching with the stored image or not. And we will do this by matching all the matrix of the face by encoding function through it, and this is all done with the help of NP or NumPy. So after the image matches, after the image through webcam or the real-time image matches with the stored image, then it will recognize the image and return its name attached with it or the name stored with it. So for that we will pass a loop, and inside it we'll give 4 parameters. So these parameters are I for top, M for left, J for bottom, and N for right section of the image. So you can again give it any name that you want. So I have given I for top, M for left, J for bottom, and N for right section of the image. After that, face encodings in zip. So the zip will help in comparing the real-time image with the images that are stored in the project file. And inside it, we will pass face locations so that it will help it to compare the images, and along with that the face encoding so that it can match all the matrix or all the calculations in both the images. So inside this loop, we will again declare a variable naming matches1 so that if both the images match or both the image after comparison of both the images, so what will happen? So inside this variable matches1, I will pass a function called face recognition.compare faces for comparing the both faces. After that, same for the second match also. So as you can see, the compare faces function compares the faces or compares all the values from the two variables which are known encoding 1 and face encoding. The known encoding 1 is storing all the encoded values of all the images that are stored in the file, whereas the face encodings stores all the encoded values of the image that it will be getting in real time. So this function has this application. And moving on, now in case if the images don't match, then we will assign a variable known as names and we will assign it the value unknown. So in case if the images don't match after comparison or after comparing, it will show the value unknown to that image. Now we need to call a function known as face distance, which is in face recognition only. Now we need to call a function known as face distance, and what it does that it will compare both the images structures like the distance of eyes from nose, etc., from one another from the image that is stored in the main project file. So we will declare a variable known as face distances and assign it the value face recognition dot face distance, and inside it we will call known encoding 1 and face encoding. So we will give this variable the name face distances 1, and same we will do for all the remaining ones. So face distances 2, and same we will do for the remaining ones. So we will change the values from known encoding 2 to 3, and in the next one from 2 to 4. Now it is all set, and after this we need our system to compare the images, that whether they are matching or not, and for that we need the help of NumPy and its functions. So we'll be using the function argmin of NumPy, which is a function which returns the index of the minimum element from an array along the given axis. So we will declare and this variable we will name it as best match index. Again, you can name it anything that you want. So we will name it index1, so that whenever it searches through both the images, if it finds you can say a minimum element which matches from both the images, then it recognizes it or it helps in recognizing it. So this is why we will be needing the help of NumPy. So we will call NumPy, which we had declared as NP earlier, and we will call the function named as argmin, and inside it we will pass the value of face distances 1 for the image 1. And same for all the remaining ones, best match index 2, the argmin function, and the value that we will passing it through is face distances 2. Now coming to the final sections of our project. So all the matchings, all the comparison meanwhile, you can say all the comparison has happened. So now we need to focus on the result section of our project. So after all the comparisons are done, we will need it to call or it to return the values or the results of that comparison. So for that, we will be passing an if-else condition. If matches 1, pass the value of best match index 1. So if it matches, then what? If it matches, then the name that is assigned to these encodings or these images will be appearing. So for that, stored names 1, in which we stored the name of the first image. So it will call that. Now this for the first image. Now coming to the second one. So elif matches 2. Now two more are remaining, so we'll just copy this code, these 2 lines of code, and we will paste, and we will change the requirements that will be needing, change from 2 to 3. Now the result section is also done. So we have given the values that after the comparison the system will be showing, but how it will show? So this how section is remaining. So for that, we will have to create a rectangle around the frame. We need the rectangle function of Opencv, which is cv2.rectangle, and inside it contains the parameters such as the output which is of the frame that it will be that will be getting the rectangle. So this rectangle basically does the purpose of detecting the face and creating a rectangle around the face that it is detecting. So it takes 5 arguments, which are image, top left corner coordinate, bottom right corner coordinates, and the color, which is in BGR format or blue green red format, and also the line width. So we will call the function rectangle and pass the frame that on which it will be creating a rectangle and all the parameters. And this 00255 is the color of the rectangle. It is for the color, which is in BGR, blue, green, red. No blue range, no green range. I only need the rectangle to be of red color, so I have provided these inputs. You can provide or you can change inputs as you prefer. So now a rectangle is created. Now what about the name? So for getting the names recognized, the recognized names appearing on the screen, we need to create another rectangle inside which we will pass the values for which it will be giving the output of all the recognized names. So again, frame, I need this one to be in the right section or right corner. That's why I'm passing it nj and mj parameters, and these parameters for the color. So I want it to be a little bit mixed up of green and red colors. So at last, we will pass the function, or we will call the function, which is cv filled, as we need the bottom section of the rectangle to be filled. So we are passing, or we are calling it the function cv2.fill. And then I have declared a variable named font and pass it the function cv.font Hershey simplex. So this function does the purpose of providing the font text, or you can say the type of text in which the name will be appearing. So for this purpose, I have declared this font variable. And after that, we need to provide the parameters so that the names will be appearing in beneath the image that it will recognize. So for that, we need to call a function put text, and inside that we will pass the parameters, which is frame, name, and the parameters on which side the text will be appearing. So for that, I need it to be appearing a little bit on the right bottom section. So for that, I am providing it these parameters. And then it will contain the font, and now the parameters for the colors, and after that the thickness of the font, which I want it to be of 3. So at last, I will call the cv2.IamShow function. So this function cv2.IamShow, it is an in place operation. So it is used for showing the real-time image. Basically, it is used for that, and it can be also used for showing any image, whether it can be the real-time or it can be image which is saved in your some location in your files. So this function is basically used for showing the image. So cv2.IamShow, and inside it we will give our project a name. So you can give any name. I'm giving it the name which I prefer. And now and now we will pass the frame so that it will show the frame inside the webcam, which means it will show the real-time image for further detection and recognition purposes. And everything is done. The only remaining part is that we have to assign some value. For that, the image will be appearing. As in, if we don't assign the time limit for the image to be appearing, then the image will appear for, you can say, for infinity. Whenever you use real-time face detection, any this sort of function, so always keep in mind to assign it the time limit. So for that, we will use the function called cv dot wait key. So it basically provides the delay time of the image that it will be showing. And I have provided the value that whenever I will enter n, all the windows that will be showing the image will be gone, and it will be closed. So I have provided this condition in my if condition. So after this, I have to provide the statement of break so that it will be closed without any. And after that, we have to provide a function for a video cam to be closed. So for this, we will call the function video cam dot release, and at last cv2.destroy all windows. This destroy all windows serves the purpose of destroying all the windows containing the images that was showing before. So it will destroy all that part, all those sections of images that was showing in the window. So now the only part that is left is checking our program that whether the codes are working correctly or not. So the main purpose of our codes is to recognize the image or recognize the face in real time from all the input that we have provided it with. So let's click on run and run main, and it will take a few seconds to open the webcam. And as you can see, our project is running just fine, and it is recognizing the face and displaying the name as well. So let's try for another celebrity that we have provided the info with in our code. And yes, it's running successfully. It's executing its purpose successfully. So for terminating our webcam, we just have to click on N, and it will terminate the webcam and destroy all the windows. So that was all for today, guys. And one more thing, as you saw that our webcam was a bit slower, that's because our code has focused much more on the clarity, on serving its clarity purpose. That's why our webcam was clearer, but it had issues with the speed. You can say it had issues with the speed section. So the main purpose of our webcam was to display clearer images. So that's why it was a bit slower. And that was all for today, guys. And thank you and have a nice day.
If you want to make a career in data science, then Intellipaat has IIT Madras Advanced Data Science and AI Certification Program. This course is of very high quality and cost effective, as it is taught by IIT professors and industry experts.